This is an HR program on demand, a living seed capsule of work life and workplace coming live from a rooftop in Stockholm, Sweden. It's me, Ann-Marie Andrich, and
me, Katarina Berg.
A vodcast, if you like, on HR, straight across the counter. Sponsored by HR, the real deal, HR by HR for HR. Hi, Jon.
Hi, Anne-Marie.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. So good to be here.
I wish that I could have welcomed you to a sunny rooftop. Yes, it's super rainy, but this is how we do it in Sweden. You know, there's no bad weather, there's only bad clothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we are so excited to have you join us today to talk about how you go about talent acquisition at Spotify. But before we dive into that, please share a little bit of who you are. What you do, of course, and then also how long have you been at Spotify?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, proud dad. So Madeline, who's 4, amazing part of my life. What I do, other than being a dad, is talent acquisition. So I've been with Spotify for a little over 3 years now, and I lead what we call TA Team West. So we recently put a new model in place that we can talk about.
Yeah.
And that is 180 plus people around the globe, filling roughly 4,000 plus positions.
Holy,
Yeah.
that's a lot. Yeah. Fantastic. So on TA, and you share this, how many people you are and where you reside. And I think that is also an interesting question to dive into before we move into how you actually go about hiring and attracting talent. You said that the team is global.
Yes.
What does that mean for you when you say that?
So it means anywhere, which is wonderful. So where our business is, we are. Where our candidates are, we are. So we have our main hubs, but outside of that, with our Work From Anywhere program, we now have recruiters in Amsterdam, in Canada. We recently hired somebody in Spain. So it's really cool to look at the world as our canvas and have people sitting wherever we need them to.
Right.
Yeah.
What was this something that you had before the Work From Anywhere program, or something that you developed during outlining the program?
Developed during the program. So we used to keep the recruiters and the TA folks within our hubs, maybe some flexibility here and there, but it's really broadened as we've put the WFA program in place.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is I find this very interesting because I know that a lot of companies out there are trying to figure out how to go about, you know, post-COVID and work from anywhere and flexible working. Any learnings from your side on how to go about this now? Because you said that you actually had TA hubs initially.
Yes.
So please share.
Yeah, I think it's really about looking for the skills. So when you have a Work From Anywhere program in place, it broadens your ability to find the best talent. We talk about having narrow talent pools, whether it's recruiting for the business or just recruiting for TA itself. But we create narrow talent pools by ultimately looking at specific locations or maybe even specific companies or backgrounds. But we say, let's put these skills in place. Where are those skills? And we find them and we hire them. So it's quite exceptional.
Yeah, definitely. Good. And how many did you say that you have in the team now?
We have 180 and growing. We have some open roles as we speak.
And you're okay,
Yes.
that was a pitch. Spotify is hiring.
Life at Spotify.
Exactly, in general, right?
.com, check it out.
Yeah, we know. Okay, great. And how would you say, is it difficult to hire TA people today?
I think it depends,
Yeah.
right? So it's clearly more competitive than it's ever been, but at the same rate, I think it's no more difficult than it was necessarily yesterday or the year before, right? I think we tend to make things difficult. So it's about, again, broadening the landscape, finding those skills, and then how do you pitch those individuals to want to do TA at your company? Fortunately for Spotify, we have an amazing mission. We have strong values, and it's still a very attractive place for people to want to come and attract all these band members that we're attracting every year.
Exactly, yeah, right.
Very fortunate.
Very fortunate in
Yeah.
that sense, yeah. And I clearly you've been working super hard and diligent and you know, planful in making that EVP.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Impressive, I have to say. And especially given that you are in, some companies say hyper growth, but I think Spotify is in hyper growth.
Hyper growth.
Yeah, exactly.
Times 2.
Yeah. So just for clarity, how many applications per month do you get on a spontaneous basis?
Up to 70,000 per month.
So let's just pause there.
Yeah.
You get 70,000
Yes.
open applications
Per month.
per month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. So okay, let's just start there. How do you then, when you get all of these applications, and then I know clearly you're also sourcing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what does the hiring setup look like, and the mindset and philosophy at Spotify?
So how we look at it is we need to be fluid and less systematic. So as we continue to scale, we looked at ways to drive a process where, again, we're more skills-based and less about here's 10 roles that we need to fill. We need to fill these 3 first, and then these 2, and then these 3. So we've really tried to push that way of thinking aside as much as possible. Still trialing it, but it's working really well. And we more so look at the business as, okay, this particular team needs to ship this product. What skills are needed for this product? And then we start looking for those skills. And as we find those skills, we hire them. So it's like a painting. So eventually you're in the beginning looking at this little blue here, this little red here, you don't quite see it, but eventually it's a beautiful sunset, say, and it all comes together and the team is in place. So,
Right.
yeah.
So, okay, great, good. And then, if we were sort of look at what does this actually entail for the TA?
Yeah.
Do you have like sourcers?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what would that look like?
So in terms of the people, we have sourcers, and those individuals are very focused on both proactive outreach and then, to your point, reviewing those 70,000 applications that are coming in every month.
Yeah.
And we really try to leverage our technology as best as we can. So we think about people, process, and infrastructure, and using technology to work smarter versus harder. So we've put a number of things in place, and we usually like to work with partners that are interested in scaling with us. So that means sometimes trying new things that don't just work for Spotify, but work for other companies as well. So it's fun to innovate from that perspective. Yeah.
Cool. And you say that you learn as you go, right? And I know that and you mentioned this, you're also data informed.
Yes.
How do you use that data? Where do you get it from?
So we have an amazing people analytics team
Yeah.
that we partner with regularly. I know Gary has been
Yeah,
talking about
Disco.
Disco here, standing where I am.
Yes.
Not in the rain, but maybe the sun. And we partner with them quite closely.
Yeah.
So we're connected by the hip. So we have bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly dashboards that we'll look at that we just have in place. So it's a very tight system in terms of what we want to see every month. But then I could reach out to Gary. I actually have a meeting with him later today to talk about something completely different, where it's like, okay, I would like to see these particular insights, and we use those insights to inform the business decisions and where we want to place talent, where we want to look for talent. So it's really quite nice to have someone like Gary in place in a system like Disco.
Oh, definitely, and the full team, right? There is a few people working on this as well. I know. Yeah, Disco. Yeah, don't let me start. I'm still amazed.
Focus on me and TA. No?
Exactly. Now it's TA, right? Excellent, and that's TA. I'm really impressed how you do this, because I think every company out there is now, especially post-COVID, especially given the fact that talent is scarce in general. I know that the TA teams are under a lot of pressure, and demand is high. And given that you have growth as your mantra at Spotify, and we talked about that you reiterate and learn as you go, you also mentioned that you have a revised model now, yeah? So curious to hear, what does that look like?
Really excited.
Yeah.
So what we decided is that I will have a co-lead. So I have a partner, not in crime, but in talent acquisition. And her name is Tess, and she's based out of London. And she leads what we call TA Team East. So West, think Americas, Europe, and JPAC, but business. And what Tess will build out is a team that focuses on our emerging growth markets, where our TA West team isn't. So you have these two things working in parallel, these two machines working in parallel. So we know what we need to do right now that's feeding into the next X number of years, but we also have Tess working on these emerging growth markets to build those out at the same time. Where some companies might say, we're going to do one, then we'll do the other. We're saying, let's do both now.
Right.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Yes.
And
2 rockets.
Yeah. Yeah, you will.
2 rocket ships.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure that also the way that you go about this now, you will get some good insights, and then you will be able to learn and tweak as you move along.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Wonderful. So let's say I am an HR leader, or I'm a TA lead, and I'm starting up my TA team. any recommendations from your side how to start? What would those be?
So I think it starts with the people.
Yeah.
We're a people-first company, and I think when you think about TA, sometimes we overcomplicate it. And I think when you're looking at recruiters, you want recruiters that are in place that represent you, your values, and your mission. So I think that we can't underestimate the value and the power of that. So you're not just looking for people that can, yes, go out and find these amazing engineers, but people that are going to represent your company and your mission in the best way, because that's a reflection of your company. Those folks are on the front line.
Yeah.
So I would say don't underestimate the power of that and over-index on making sure that you have the right people in place to represent whoever your company is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. And perfect. And now I just had another question here that I should have asked earlier, but now I'm like asking it now. um, How do you train your TA team?
Yeah. We have an amazing TA operations team that we've scaled over the course of the last couple of years now. And that's really important. I think it's another area that a lot of companies should invest in if they're not investing today.
Right.
So you think sourcing, very important, but you think TA operations. So think of a team that's empowering TA and the business and enabling and making sure that they're as effective and as efficient as possible. So we've put TA onboarding in place. We have a couple of versions of this, and it's I think, pretty intense 6 to 8 week period of time where it's broken out by parts, right? So you're first learning just the foundation of what it means to do TA at, say, Spotify, but then really getting into how we work and how we work effectively together. So how TA is set up at Spotify is we face off to the core business units that we support, which, if you think about it, can be very easy to fall into silos. So we want to make sure that we're really working together holistically, and that's when you get into how we work together. How do we share? How do we share information and knowledge and candidates? So you go through this process of, again, what does it mean to do this here at Spotify, and then what does it mean to do it together globally?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I excellent that you have this very structured onboarding
Yes.
structure in place. So how much do you add the business aspect of Spotify into TA?
It's one connected by the hip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think a lot of companies should pay more attention to as well. When you think about the challenges and the opportunities, I think, again, we underestimate the importance of the business and their role in doing this. It's not just about TA and their capacity and ability to go out and recruit, but the business's capacity and bandwidth to be a part of that process and invest time in interviewing, invest time in onboarding. So it takes a lot and it's quite a burden. So when you're doing what we're doing, it's important to look at both angles and
Right.
make sure that the business is set up for success as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you, and to that point, do you have like hiring committees where you have the hiring manager and the TA and maybe,
Yeah, we put into place our councils, as we call them.
Yeah,
And ultimately, again, it goes back to the fluidity of the process and making sure, again, that we're all working together in sync, heading towards the same direction. So as we find those skills, we can talk about, okay, this person maybe makes more sense here based on what this team is doing. This person maybe makes more sense here, and we match it up. And we try to do it very quickly, but keep it simple. And then we have an amazing internal mobility program here as well. So where somebody starts today might not be where they are 12 months from now or 6 months from now.
Fantastic. Living the brand to
Yes,
the fullest,
exactly.
definitely. So very, very insightful, inspiring, and I'm sure that there were a lot of people who were listening and looking into this, taking notes now. And for sure, we will invite you back, Jon.
Please, maybe when it's sunny.
When it's sunny, I would be so happy to invite you back to sunny Stockholm. And then also, looking back to, your reflections and learnings from where you are now and what have you learned and how did you tweak it? And then also asking that question, how many open applications do you have at that point? Because I'm sure there will be more coming in. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Now let's, should we close?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's close this because it's raining really hard now. So you know how we close?
I'm ready.
Okay,
Yeah.
the three things,
Yes.
shall we?
Let's do it.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay strong, stay active.
Idemo
dalje.
Very good. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jon.
you, Anne-Marie.
Thank you.
All right.
what a legend. Seriously, in the rain. And I'm like, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, how do I turn this? Okay. Look at you. Yeah, you see it's windy.
Yes.
Yeah. I just love the rainwater that we have here.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Constant refill.
it's good.
Extra vitamins.
Yeah, just and then yeah. Let's
The
just
mind is just going.
exactly. I know. So we'll just have a conversation
Exactly.
and let's see where this takes us.
Yeah,
Right?
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah? The model look. I don't know what the model
Yeah,
looks
me
like
neither, but-
at this point. Exactly.